The door flies open, and there's Aunt Larissa, holding a baby wrapped in a blanket. "I knew it," she whispers. "He's been arrested, right? Arrested?" I stand up. The baby starts crying, and Aunt Larissa begins rocking it. "Don't cry, baby. When you grow up, you'll be living in communism," I say, and reach in to tickle the baby, but Aunt Larissa pulls it away, frightened. Then her husband is there, leaning out of the door. "What are you trying to do, kid?" he says. "Get us in trouble?" "I only need till morning," I say. "As soon as Stalin finds out, my dad is coming back." "Stalin," he says. He laughs, but it's a nasty laugh. "It's not funny," I say. "I will be joining the pioneers tomorrow, and my dad is—" "Forget about your dad, kid. Your dad's an enemy of the people. Don't you get it? They don't allow kids of enemies to join the pioneers." My aunt says something, but I can't hear it because the baby is wailing. "Shush," her husband hisses, and I'm not sure whom he's hissing at, my aunt or the baby, because both are crying now. He leans forward and drives his finger into my chest. "Don't aggravate us, kid. Get lost," and he shuts the door. I'm almost at the first floor when I hear the door open upstairs. It's my aunt. I stop and wait for her to catch up. I knew she'd come. And she does, arms reaching out and pulling me in. With her face so close, I see she looks like my dad. Though my dad never cries, of course. "He's wrong," I say. "My dad's not an enemy of the people. You know that, don't you?" She nods and pats my head, or tries to arrange my hair. I don't know which. "I'm sorry, Sasha," she says. "If we take you in, they'll arrest us too. We just had a baby. We have to stay alive." She pushes something into the palm of my hand, folds my fingers over it, and runs upstairs. I know it's money. I'll need it, so I'm grateful. When I look, it's not much, but at least in the morning I can take a streetcar to school. In the basement of my aunt's building, I find a stack of old newspapers. I set aside pages with Stalin's picture on them. Don't want to damage those. And make a bed under the warm pipes. It's not so bad in here. The basement is cozy. I think of the time I last saw Aunt Larissa. It was before she married that jerk. Dad dropped me off and said he would be taking Mom to the hospital because she was ill. I stayed in Aunt Larissa's room for 2 days. I didn't even go to school. When Dad came back, he said Mom had died at the hospital. I started crying, and Aunt Larissa hugged me and said to my dad, "You look guilty, not sad." He didn't say anything, just took me home. There must have been a funeral. I wonder why he didn't take me. I need to ask him about that. The pipes gurgle and hiss above me. In one of the apartments, someone turns on a record player. Normally, I only listen to marching music, but this song I like. It's pretty and gentle. Why did Aunt Larissa say my dad looked guilty? He didn't. He looked sad. He blamed himself for not being able to save my mom. He's not even a doctor, but he's that responsible. I pull the newspapers over my head and start thinking about tomorrow. Tomorrow everything will be better. Tomorrow Stalin will rescue my dad. Tomorrow I will be a pioneer. I drift off and dream of the Pioneers' rally and see my dad, who's smiling and tying the pioneer's scarf around my neck. The sound of someone scraping ice in the courtyard wakes me. A small window above my head glows bright with winter morning light. I dash up the stairs, through the front door, and out into the street. The sidewalks are crowded. Citizens rush to work, line up for food rations, push into the streetcars. On the corner, a loudspeaker blares our country's anthem. They always play it at 8:45 sharp, which means I am late for school. I chase after a streetcar, white with frost, icicles hanging over the frozen windows. The streetcar is gaining speed, screeching over icy tracks. I manage to hop on, but the streetcar is so crammed with passengers I can't squeeze inside. I grab onto the railing and hang outside the doors. The streetcar bounces and darts forward, moving faster and faster, careening down the sloping street. Freezing air lashes my face as Moscow flies by in a whirlwind. After all the bad things that happened last night, this crazy ride is so exciting and fun that I start laughing. By the time I get to school, it's snowing again. Everybody's out in the schoolyard flinging snowballs. I love snowball fights. I have 3 marksmanship awards from the war preparedness class, so everyone wants me on their team. I join in. Soon my team is on the offensive, but, of course, Vovka Sabakin has to spoil it. "Watch out, Americanets," he yells, and rams into me so hard we fly into a snowdrift. He calls me Americanets on account of my mother. Vovka used to be my best friend, but I shouldn't have told him anyway. My dad warned me never to tell anyone. "Stop pawing me," I say to Vovka, push him aside, and walk away. When I hear him yell, "Death to the enemy of the people," I freeze. Does he know about my dad? I turn around just as Vovka is lifting a snowball, but he doesn't throw it at me. He throws it at Four Eyes. Several kids join Vovka and line up into a firing squad. They hurl snowballs at Four Eyes, who's backed against a wall. He doubles over and covers his face to protect his glasses. Four Eyes is Borka Finkelstein, the only Jewish kid in our class. His parents were arrested at the beginning of the year, and now he lives with his relatives. We call him Four Eyes because he wears eyeglasses. Anybody who's not a worker or a peasant and reads a lot, we call Four Eyes. And it's true, Finkelstein reads a lot. "Hit him, Americanets." Vovka tries to force the snowball into my hand. The snowball is icy hard and would hurt. I don't feel like throwing it. "Comrades, look!" Vovka yells. "Zaychik refuses to shoot the enemy." "Traitor!" someone shouts. "Enemy of the people." "Who's not with us is against us," Vovka says, grinning, and holds up the snowball. Everyone stares at me, waiting to see what I'll do. That's when Four Eyes decides to take a chance and throw a snowball. He's nearly blind, so it's a fluke, but it hits me in the ear. Everyone laughs. Before I know what I'm doing, I grab the snowball from Vovka's hand and throw it at Four Eyes. There's a loud pop as it hits him in the face. The eyeglasses snap, glass splinters, and one shard cuts his cheek.